Every angler has a lure they lean on when conditions get tough, and for many, that lure is the Rapala Shad Rap SR-5. It may only be 2 inches long and weigh 3/16 of an ounce, but don't let its size fool you. This little crankbait has earned a legendary status by consistently putting fish in the boat. Built from balsa wood, the SR-5 has a buoyant body and a tight, natural wobble that mimics small bait fish. That lifelike action makes it deadly, but knowing when to use it is the real key to success. One of the best times to throw the Shad Rap SR-5 is when fish are feeding in mid-depth ranges. This lure naturally dives between 4 and 9 feet, depending upon your line choice and retrieve speed, which puts it right in the strike zone for most of those fish. If you're marking fish in that range or see them chasing bait along weed lines and rocky banks, the SR-5 is the perfect match. Cast it along the edges of structure and let it do its thing. The fish are already there waiting. The SR-5 also excels in cooler water conditions, such as early spring or late fall. During these times, fish are less aggressive, and lures with wide, erratic action can actually turn them off. The Shad Rap's tight wobble looks natural and subtle, which is exactly what bass and walleye want when they're conserving energy. Work it slow and steady, adding occasional pauses to let the bait float upward slightly. That gentle rise mimics a struggling bait fish and often triggers strikes from fish that aren't chasing down faster presentations. Water clarity is another condition that dictates when to tie on the Shad Rap SR-5. In clear water, fish rely heavily on sight, and natural finishes like silver, perch, and shad are tough to beat. These patterns blend in with real forage and look authentic. On the other hand, if you're fishing stained or muddy water, bright finishes like this Firetiger or hot steel help the bait stand out. The key is to match your color to visibility. When fish can't see well, give them something bold to lock onto. And don't overlook low light conditions either. The Shad Rap SR-5 shines at dawn, dusk, or on overcast days. These are prime feeding times when fish feel safer venturing into shallower water. Running this lure along drop offs or weed lines during these windows often leads to fast action. Add in a light chop on the surface, and the conditions get even better. The slight disturbance in the water makes predators more confident and less cautious, giving you the edge. Another overlooked factor is fishing pressure. On heavily pressured lakes where fish have seen every big flashy lure in the book, the subtle realistic presentation of the Shad Rap SR-5 can outfish everything else. Its smaller size and natural action don't spook wary bass or walleye. Instead, it looks like an easy meal they haven't learned to avoid. If you've ever had one of those frustrating days when nothing seems to work, tying on an SR-5 often changes the game. Lastly, think about your own flexibility as an angler. One of the best ways to maximize the SR-5 is to keep multiple colors handy and switch quickly when the bite is slow. Some purists insist on tying directly to the lure for the perfect action, but using a small swivel snap also lets you change lures in seconds. The truth is, being able to adapt quickly to conditions often matters more than a tiny difference in action. If you can cycle through colors until you find what fish want, you'll put more fish in the net. In the end, the Rapala Shad Rap SR-5 is at its best when fish are holding mid-depth, when water is cool, when light is low, or when fishing pressure makes them cautious. Combine its natural action with smart choices about color, timing, and flexibility, and you'll see why this little crankbait has stood the test of time. Next time conditions line up, tie one on, you might just discover why anglers around the world swear by it. Take care, my friends.